Hello everybody, my name is Trinkit, and welcome back to our Minecraft series. I haven't had the time to record here for a while, but I'm finally able to again, and it feels really good. As you can see, I've been kind of working on the area for the storage room here. I used a beacon up there to show that this is like an important area in the world, the important redstone thing that we'll eventually have. It's not there at the moment still, but I have made like the lining for the redstone, and you'd see I've even started on the wiring back there. And I even finished up like the ceiling and everything around it. I've even started on the two rooms that will be to the side of this big main storage processor. I'm not quite sure what to do with this one yet, but this blue room over here, which I lined with lapis blocks to kind of give it a unique identity so all these room gateways don't look the same. This one I instead used pink petal blocks, like a pink glazed terracotta, looks like these pink petals. We'll be incorporating those into the rest of the build too, but I thought that would be a good way to differentiate the doors. And this lapis, of course, I love the look of lapis blocks, and it's kind of meant to be a similar color to this water here. In the lapis room will eventually be bulk storage to go along with this more general storage out here. And you can see I've even started working on some simple wiring as well. I synced these lamps so they turn off in sync. On is a different story because the button is directly on the lamp, but I think it's still cool. And this bulb is going to tell us when the device is actually turned on, and we can pretend give it power like this to show that the device is on, yeah. And breaking this just shows that it turns off as well. So both of those wires will eventually be useful to the system that we make here, but I'm not going to be making it this episode. We still need a lot of resources in order to actually construct this big machine, as well as all the bulk storage over there, especially considering we're going to probably have 4 of those big sorting machines, one in each of the 4 walls of this area. As much as I crave having automated sorting, trust me, I need it. First, we have to get the redstone to craft all of the components to build the storage slices, and the wood to craft all of the hoppers for them as well. So I think that the main project today should be a combined redstone and wood farm, using a witch farm to farm redstone and having wood farms nearby so we can farm both at the exact same time. But before we get into that main project for the day, let me show you another important piece of the puzzle I completed between episodes. As you can see, I've beat the Ender Dragon a few more times, and if we just go through this portal here... I left some stuff here, oh my goodness, I didn't really clean this up. You can see that here is a shulker shell farm. At the moment, I'm not really much of an expert on shulker shell farms, so I decided to go ahead and build this scaffolding-based shulker farm here. This shulker farm was designed by Ending Credits, incorporating design elements by Dark and Ball Light. It's a farm based on shulkers duplicating when they're hit by shulker bullets, which causes them to be coaxed to the top of the farm by the unique properties of scaffolding. I won't go into too much detail here because this is someone else's farm. You can watch the detailed video linked in the description if you'd like to know more. One thing I don't like about this farm is it's like not the prettiest, right? So eventually I'll probably look into designing my own farm, or maybe sprucing this one up a bit, I'm not really sure. However, this farm got us quite a lot of shulker shells. I have a lot more back at my base, but even as we've been standing here, I have 15. And we'll be needing a lot of those this episode and especially next episode. So, I didn't actually record myself moving the shulker from the nearby end city into the farm, because the process is a little annoying and I wanted to watch something in the background while I did it. But I did have replay mod recording for me. As you can see, I chose a location with a nearby end city, so it wasn't a ton of work. I just placed a bunch of tracks and used an invisibility potion and took off my elytra and armor while I got the shulker into the minecart. I used a furnace minecart and a bunch of coal from the wither skeleton farm to send it all the way along to the shulker farm. When it did arrive, all I had to do to get it into the farm was to break the minecart. After that, it teleported in and got to duplicating pretty quickly. However, something did happen during the journey to make my heart start pounding. Distracted by the show I had put on my other monitor, I forgot that I had earlier unequipped my elytra and hurled myself off of the track into the void. My blood turned to ice. Quietly, quickly, I opened my inventory, equipped my elytra, deployed my wings while in the void, and flew back up to safety. It took me like 15 minutes to get the adrenaline out of my system. Okay, so what we're going to be doing today involves this shulker box full of stuff right here. Note that this is tinted glass. Lots of trapdoors. Here, into the nether. This is going to take place 7,000 blocks away. In the nether here, I even mapped out some carpets to it. If you recall last episode, this is where we collected the, 6 stacks of lily pads. And what we'll be building involves the witch hut, right? So this is going to be a shifting floor designed witch farm. Oh, there she is. She sees me. She sees me. We need to kill her first. I forgot to bring fish to tame the cat. I have a bunch of fish in here, which has been defaced by an enderman, like everything. Here's some fish. I've learned my lesson about walking up to mobs we can just shoot with an arrow. There we go. That is what we want from the witch drops. Redstone. They've been buffed recently to drop even more redstone than they used to. But even the amount that they used to drop would be... I would be happy with making a farm for, so... This is wonderful for me. And there's gonna be a cat in here now. Let's just double check that there's no more witches. Yeah, we're gonna tame that cat. Come here, kitty. Oh, crouch. Oh, 2! Just 2! She's not picky. Hey, Ren, what do I name this cat?
What do you name it?
Yeah.
I don't know.
Ren, maybe?
Ren.
Ren.
Serenity.
Yeah, Serenity.
Something like that.
Okay. Alright, I think this cat being named Serenity would be really cute.
You should do that.
Alright, sounds good. I love you.
I love you.
Yeah, kitty, kitty, kitty. Okay. Well, I wasn't planning on bringing her home right now, but she seems like she's walking with me anyway, so let's just make the trek. Stairs? Do I have stairs? Yes, I do. My emergency slabs. My ender chest is a mess, by the way. Don't make fun of me for it. I don't have my storage room yet. Once I have a storage room, I'll have a competent ender chest. They go hand in hand. Okay, kitty. Okay, you can just... Well, let's bring you up to the house, okay? And onto my couch. Yes! No. Couch? There. Yeah! Alright. Here we go. Aww. It's you. It's you.
I love her. She's so awesome.
Well, I love you.
I love you too.
What?
What?
So, now that the cat has been taken care of, we can start on the witch farm here today, which is one of the main projects we'll be doing. This is going to be a shifting floor witch farm design, which are very popular and have been around a long time. So, me claiming this to be my own farm design is sketchy. I don't think anyone can really lay claim to the shifting floor witch farm. That being said, I myself am putting the pieces together, and this is technically my design as much as this farm has been built by a lot of people over the years. And some specific ideas I'm using are from Fruno's Witch Farm tutorial video and Big Booty 17's Witch Farm tutorial video, both of which I will link in the description. Those were both good resource guides on the farm's ideas and some specifics of how to design them. So, now that it's witch-free and cat-free, let's get into it. So, the way witch farms work is I'm using Mini HUD here to visualize the bounding box of the witch hut structure. Basically, in this purple box, the only kinds of mobs that can spawn, I'm pretty sure this is the case, are witches. Only witches can spawn here. So we won't be farming like creepers or skeletons or anything by putting this here. So if you AFK at a good point for the witches to be spawning in this bounding box and design a contraption out of redstone to quickly, spawn and kill them, you can have a pretty strong redstone farm, especially it's been recently buffed to be incredibly strong. Most people are using looting to kill the witches, but as you'll see later, that's not really going to be feasible for what I want out of this area of the world. So we'll just be sending them down into a really simple kill chamber, and then we will do something really cool with the drops a bit later. Once we have the core platform that the witches can spawn on, I will bring you all back in and show you how it works. Okay, so we have our hole done that the witches are going to fall into and get pushed into the center there. It's going to go something like this, where they're just going to fall, and then these alternating water streams will make sure none of them get, stuck in the middle. They'll all move toward different directions. They can fall in here, and then they will walk over these magma blocks, and that does two things. One, it hits them, which I think, if I remember correctly, resets their 30-second despawn timer. So if they take damage, they get. I need to sleep. I need to sleep. I need to sleep. I need to sleep. As I was saying, the witches will get hit by these magma cubes, which damages them, which have another 30 seconds to get killed. Two, if witches get hit by fire, they drink a fire resistance potion, which means they won't be drinking a health potion when they get dropped into this block. Down here, let's just torch it right now. Maybe you can see a little better. I am going to be making a minecart crusher, little entity cramming killing chamber. And I'm going to be making a version of it that I kind of came up with recently. This isn't like new necessarily. I haven't seen anyone do this before. Basically, we will be putting a bunch of minecarts, 24 of them to be exact, on this block here. And this is not the new part. People have been doing this for a long time. The new part is, instead of being over like a hopper or something, or like okay, that could have killed me bad. Instead of being over like a hopper or something else like that, we're just gonna drop them into a water stream with a waterlogged slab on top, and then the minecarts are gonna sit on top of the waterlogged slab in the water stream. Anything that falls into the water stream, their drops will be able to pass through this slab. We're gonna have blocks up here, but the minecarts are too big to pass through this like 1/2 block gap. What I'm hopeful of is that it doesn't cause much lag, which I haven't tested at all. But yeah, now anything that falls into there will be killed very quickly. Then eventually we'll just make a water stream for the items to go through, and they will be brought up to where we're going to be storing them. So I've got the first spawning layers built out here. It is a bunch of solid blocks, which are represented by this chiseled deep slate blocks. I thought they looked cool. And then on the other side of it is mud. Traditionally, if you look up shifting floor witch farm designs, you'll see a lot of soul sand being used. And soul sand is cheaper, but mud has recently been introduced, which does the exact same thing as soul sand. It is a block that mobs can spawn on, but it's also a little bit lower than a full block, right? So you can kind of feel that step up if we move between these two blocks. What actually happens is, because of these blocks here, anything that spawns in between these trapdoors will stand there until our redstone triggers, and our redstone is a bunch of pistons here. It will shift the floor this way and then back this way in a split second, which will cause all entities that are resting on these blocks to drop through the blocks due to the difference in height. And if I click this, you can see the pistons activate and all the blocks get pushed this way. And then if I click this one, all the blocks get pushed back by the pistons under here. These buttons are just for spawn proofing. because I don't plan to light up down here. Definitely credit to Fruno's video for the timing specifically for these pistons. There we go. Yep. So that'll happen to the witches. They will fall through the floor when it shifts, and then like that. So what we're gonna do is build up 3 layers of these shifting floors, and then build a clock that runs these shifting floors, I think every 20 seconds or so. So here's our final result. I'm using the resource pack Redstone tweaks to showcase a little better what those weird chains of observers are doing on the right hand side. There's a link to that in the description below. But essentially, those are just timing the shifting floors so that the witches are all sent down in one go. I actually think that chaining effect looks pretty cool with Redstone tweaks on, seeing the arrows move. I like it a lot. But the way the farm works is really simple. When we're sufficiently far away that the only thing that can spawn mobs is the witch farm, then they'll spawn on these 3 platforms, and a witch that spawns up here will be sent down to this platform, then to this platform, then to this water below, where it will be killed on these minecarts, and its drops will be sent up to the rest of the project we'll be making today. There's a couple small details I'd like to point out. One, that I'm using rails here rather than redstone to send the signal from one observer to the other, just because rails are less laggy than redstone, and they can also be used underwater, so we don't have to remove the water here. The stairs are specifically there to encourage pack spawning, which means witches will try to spawn in packs, and packs will make attempted spawns in these stairs, I believe. I think it doesn't matter whether I use stairs or glass, but I liked using stairs there just so I could perhaps make an explicit note of that in the video here to show you. And I kind of like the look of it too. So here we are in a creative copy of the world. You can see that I've duplicated the witch farm here. And if we fly up here, you can see a little bit of planning that I've been doing for this area. This core ring here, this giant circle, is going to be the core of a new area I'm planning in our world, centered around that witch farm down there, that I'm going to call Witchywood. The idea for this area was actually based upon one of the best levels from perhaps one of, if not my favorite game of all time, Banjo-Tooie. The level in particular is Witchy World. You're seeing stream footage of it now, where I, my girlfriend Ren, and my friend Synth all streamed a playthrough of it together. The link to that stream VOD is in the description below. Essentially, it's a big top carnival run by an evil witch, which is falling apart and rotted at the seams. There's several different areas that makes for a really unique level. There's a really cool boss fight against a balloon named Mr. Patch. You can get transformed into a car. There's a Wild West area with a bouncy castle. There's a space area where you can ride an UFO. And iconically, there's an area called the Inferno, a hellish locale that really scared me as a kid. It is maybe one of the most memorable parts of the game for me personally. So here in Minecraft, we're going to be trying to recreate that theme in a new area I'm going to call Witchywood, being that it's a witch farm that's going to be incorporating 2 wood farms so that we can farm wood and witches at the exact same time. The way it works is that this magenta circle you see around here is every location that I can stand up here that will allow witches to spawn down there. We can see this by creating a despawn sphere with mini HUD. You can see the despawn sphere just barely contains the witch farm, and just barely contains the area where the witches would go down to be killed. In Minecraft, tree farms are areas that you have to stand at in order to make them work because saplings can't be automatically placed, which means if we build the wood farms in range of the redstone farm, we can farm both important materials at once. Now, Witchy World was not only meant to be a shoddy carnival, but a cheap one. It doesn't contain a lot of permanent structures or attractions. In contrast, my idea for Witchywood is more of a shoddy, rundown theme park. Albeit evil, maybe it at some point had a lot of money put into it, which means it might have a really cool fountain in the center, or fancy buildings where all these red areas are, which cover up the tree farms that are going to be in the middle. So I'm thinking of this big circle within the magenta as a core area, where there's scary, rundown theme park buildings, maybe shops or stuff like that, and then branching off from it will be 4 roads that go to 4 other different themed areas. For instance, I want west of the fountain to be the Haunted Inferno, based heavily off of that area that you saw in Witchy World. This area, I want to go heavy on the horror theme and kind of try to get some inspiration from that Inferno area of Witchy World itself. In the east, however, I want to kind of try my hand at making my own forest/Renaissance fair area. I really like Renaissance fairs. I think they're really cool, and they already kind of lend themselves to a rundown and scary motif. So I thought it would be fun to try my hand at recreating something like that, with a joust and booths and maybe custom trees. I haven't thought about it too much, but that was always part of the design in my head. To the north, I'm not really sure what to put. This is going to be a very, very long-term project, almost like a second base here in our world. So I don't expect to have the details pounded out right away. For instance, earlier in this episode, I talked loosely about implementing bulk storage for the drops from the witch farm down there. And while I have a really cool bulk storage planned out, I feel like I want to do some redesigning of this space in particular before I commit to building that, because it's kind of like difficult to rebuild fancy redstone. And also, I don't know, something just kind of makes me want to wait until next episode to do it. You understand. Finally, to the south here is maybe the area I'm most excited about for Witchywood, the Waterpark. Given my penchant for pool toys, I was very excited to try to include a rundown water park in Witchywood. I think the fact that we're in a swamp and we have that gross swamp water is going to make it look really fun and different from maybe every other water park I've ever seen in Minecraft. Each of these areas I have currently 59 blocks out from the main ring, and that's where we're actually going to be building in Witchywood today. We're not done. We're going to be building a wood farm today, but not a tree farm, a wood farm. You'll see what I mean. And it's going to be the first build in Witchywood, and it's going to be themed to the water park. I'm really excited to build it here with you, so let's get into it. Back in our survival world, I've imported that grid into a Lightmatica schematic and placed it in the sky here where it was in the creative world. We're going to be building over here. We're going to be building at this block, at the crafting table. The reason I have a stone layer here is because the ground will be made with gravity blocks. And over here in these 4 shulker boxes, I have all the materials that we'll need to finish this build today. A bunch of temporary blocks and stone, as well as all of this stuff. All of this stuff. And we will need all of this stuff too. So it's going to be a bit of a doozy in terms of block variety. As you can see, I went a little further out too. I decided that just to the end of the orange was not far enough. I extended it just a little bit further. This still seems kind of close to the main area for my liking, but I'm sure it's fine. The more blocks I extend out, the more we'll have to fill in the area too. So what we're actually going to build here, I have a showcase for you in this creative world here, which I just made for demo purposes. So what we'll be building is a bamboo farm that uses bone meal to grow the bamboo and then pistons to break it immediately. So the farm I designed is based off of Etho's Bamboozler farm that he built several times. This is his implementation on Hermitcraft Season 7 here that I'm looking at, and the episode where he originally built it is going to be linked in the description. This farm is really cool. Let's start it up. It grows bamboo and then breaks it and sends it directly to the player. But in my opinion, and not to hate on the goat, there are a couple of problems with it. For one, it's laggy. It uses a lot of flashing redstone dust. It's inconsistent due to the way the glass blocks that he has here push the bamboo into the water stream. There's a bit of weirdness with how those blocks interact, and some of the bamboo is actually like glitching through blocks and getting lost. I don't think it's a significant amount, but it's something. And finally, due to the sticky pistons leaving the glass blocks there because they're getting one tick pulsed, I'm fairly certain this design wastes every other bone meal. I tested that, and I think that's true. So what I created is a version of this attempting to fix some of those issues. So this is what I came up with. Rather than using sticky pistons to push glass blocks into the bamboo, we just used regular pistons, which can be retracted after giving them one tick really quickly. Every time that bulb updates, so every time it goes from on to off or off to on, this farm activates. So we can simulate that using this button. As you can see, the pistons push the bamboo into this water stream, and the bamboo itself is regrown, I believe the next redstone tick, by 6 dispensers, which grows it up to a maximum height of around there. This means that each activation of the farm has the bamboo getting destroyed, then grown, which means we can hook it up to a slightly slower clock than Etho's Bamboozler, and because the bamboo never attempts to grow into glass blocks, it should be more efficient and perhaps about as fast. We are also growing the bamboo on a mud block, which means that any bamboo which doesn't go into the water stream and instead lands on this block can be picked up by a hopper below it and put into a dropper, which we can make sent out and go through the water stream. This is pretty optional though. The amount of bamboo you're losing by it landing on this block is surprisingly minimal. Here is the clock we have set up. I've been using this kind of redstone clock in builds more lately, using the new copper bulb. I really like the new copper bulb. It's maybe one of my favorite redstone components in the entire game. The way this clock works is that this bulb is turned on and off really quickly by these 2 observers, which means this bulb is turned on and off at half the frequency. I've built an extended version of this clock over here because I'll probably be using this clock in future builds. I like it a lot, and I'd like to showcase how it works. I'm probably going to be calling this a bulb clock in the future, although the pattern that it makes resembles binary code, so another good name for it might be a binary clock. Essentially, if we turn on this closest clock, then you can see that this activates pretty frequently. If we turn this one on instead, you can see that it activates about half as frequently, and using just one more bulb makes it activate half as frequent as that. I really like this clock. It's fairly compact and it seems pretty lag efficient, so I'll definitely be using it in the future. We can turn this farm on by flicking this piston forward. This is about how fast it runs, which I'm very happy with. You'll notice that our farm also has a lot of flashing redstone dust, but we can implement some pretty easy lag proofing, which will significantly reduce the amount of updates that we're giving each of those pieces of dust. And yeah, that gave us a lot of bamboo. So what we'll be building today at Witchywood is just 3 of these bamboo farms built side by side and connected together. So now it's the next day, and I've constructed the facade for the bamboo farm. There's going to be 3 poles of bamboo behind this glass, and I went very blue with it. It's meant to kind of make the colors of a wave, you know, from like a dark blue, purple, cyan, light blue up to like the seafoam white of the crest. I thought that might be a cute way to do it. I don't know. I like the vibe, I think. And the ground is made out of light gray and cyan wool and concrete powder. I'm kind of trying to emulate like the way water parks might have like painted concrete as their grounds that you walk all over the water park. I don't have any pictures to back this up. I looked for them, I couldn't find them. I've been to water parks like this, I don't know which ones. But this is a feature of some water parks, I promise. The reason it's not filled all the way out is because I'm kind of suspecting I'm gonna have like a pool here, like a water park pool, because this is going to be a big water park with slides and interesting water features. So I think I might put a pool right in front of this, and then they can see the thing here, and then the lever to operate and stuff will actually be over here. I've also gotten the water stream done. I tried to do this on camera and I messed up the building like twice in a row, and I was like, okay, I'm just gonna do this off camera. The dispensers are in and the water flows down. This dispenser was a little weird because water only flows 7 blocks, so I had to, push it down 1 block. But it flows into the water stream, up and around, and then back into the side of the big bamboo farm. These copper trapdoors and stuff are going to eventually turn green, but it's really hard to age copper. But this represents like a big pipe where the bamboo will eventually fall out here. And I have a crafting table right here to craft it with. So we're going to get into building some of the redstone together here. This bulb is going to be like the on and off switch for the device. So from the lever, we've just hooked up the simple wiring to trigger each of these, which are taking the bamboo that falls on the mud block here and just shooting it out into the water streams so that we get all the bamboo and don't waste any. This wiring, pretty simple, just 3 individual clocks that are running. Unfortunately for this, we need 1 single more slime ball for a piston right here. I guess I'm gonna wait for it to turn nighttime and then go hunt a slime. Bit unfortunate that we need 1 more sticky piston, but I don't have a slime farm on my world yet. Since slimes spawn at night in swamps, I was thinking that we could light the whole swamp up to make the witch farm more efficient, and then slimes will spawn and we can just scatter this area with like iron golems to get the slimes down a hole. And this could be like not only a witch farm, but a slime farm, and I think neither will even come close to taking up the mop cap. Just kind of like an interesting idea I had that might be like a cool thing to have underneath witchywood down here. Okay, so I have our bulb clock in here, all connected to the redstone, and I'm gonna build the firing of the dispensers and the pistons like on camera with you, because that's kind of the most interesting and complex part of this. So we have an observer here to detect when this comparator changes. That's going to lead into some redstone dust on glass, and we're using glass because I believe it reduces some lag because the block itself, like underneath the redstone, isn't getting powered. And we are just going to spam a bunch of redstone dust in this like teeth pattern. Then from there, we're going to detect when that redstone dust changes, which is going to help us 1-tick pulse the dispensers. And also it means we can power the redstone dust to a moderate amount, which is going to reduce the lag. I'll show you that a bit later. Each of these dispensers is going to check when the redstone dust changes, and underneath them, we're going to have observers here. So when the redstone dust changes, this observer is going to detect it, then this observer is going to detect that change, and power these 2 dispensers down here. This one is getting powered through quasi-connectivity. If I'm not going to explain that one, you could look it up. Basically, dispensers and pistons are weird, and so you can power them in weird ways. What I forgot to do was put in the hoppers. Okay, we need to put the hoppers in. So each of the dispensers gets its own hopper, and then we need to pull them all out so they're in line with each other. So we have this big line of these hoppers now. And now we're going to be kind of splitting the items with double chests to make it so we have to use up less chests. That'll be plenty of bone meal storage. We'll just do that for now, I think. I think in my original design I had 1 more double chest for each one. That seems like a lot. We'll just do that. So now we're gonna put in the pistons. I know we have to make the pistons 10 high because there's 5 colors on this glass here. And each of them are given 2 blocks, so we just build it up to the top of the white glass here. That'll be the amount we should be putting in. Okay, so the 3 piston columns are in. Now we need to put an observer facing up to detect that observer's change, and there will be redstone on top of that. So I had to go back and embarrassingly make a ton more observers, which ran me out of redstone completely. So I just ran the witch farm for a little bit. I built a little platform in the sky to do it. I don't even have a collection system yet, so I'm just gonna go down here. There we go. That's plenty. We'll just throw all the extra stuff away for right now. Don't need that. So for each of these piston towers, what we'll be doing is creating a transparent block redstone elevator, kind of. You've probably seen these around a lot before. They're pretty common. We're just going to run the redstone up like that, and then we're going to go behind it, and we're going to observe changes in the redstone from the clock. Whoops, I misplaced that one. Which will activate the pistons, and by doing this with observers that observe the changes in the redstone, we can power the redstone. Yeah, like that. We can power the redstone, like, permanently, and then give it a little bit more power. The observers will detect that, and it will also reduce the amount of lag generated from the redstone dust. And the reason we only need an observer every other piston is, again, due to quasi-connectivity. Pistons act weird, so this bottom one just simply does not need to be triggered by an additional observer. This observer covers both, like this. And then we can just run redstone down. Maybe I should have done this while I was building it, but I think we got the whole thing. Yeah, and we'll do that for all 3 of these pistons. So, now that we have all of the pistons and dispensers wired up, I think we're pretty much done. We need to put the back on this, of course, and fill it up with bone meal. What I should say is it's functional, but I was critiquing Etho's Bamboozler earlier for having a lot of blinking redstone, and my blinking redstone would be like 10 times worse if we didn't do something about it. Oh my goodness, flying is hard. Which is why I have these pots and snowballs in my inventory. So I mentioned a lot about the fact that the observers are observing changes in this redstone dust. And the reason redstone dust is laggy is because when redstone dust goes from like from redstone power 0 to redstone power 15, that's 15 individual block updates rather than one block update 0 to 15. Which means if you have redstone dust blinking from 0 to 15 a lot, like in a pulsing redstone clock, that's going to significantly increase the amount of block updates per cycle that you're getting in a redstone device. So what we can do is power the redstone up to 1 below its maximum, and then power it up to its maximum every clock cycle, which significantly reduces the amount of block updates we're putting out per cycle. The way we're going to do that is really simple. We're just going to put 4 decorated pots on the area with comparators going out of them, 2 into each of the lines. You know, there is the glass line down here and the slab line up here. The glass line is for the dispensers, the slab lines are for the pistons. We're going to power the dust next to these blocks up to 13, and then when, for instance, this dust gets power, then it powers this up to 15, and then these go 1 up to 14, so they're only increasing 1 block update per cycle, rather than multiple. So that's what we're going to be doing to reduce lag. I hope that makes some semblance of sense. Basically, this is just an additional lag reduction feature we're doing. And to power those redstone dusts up to 13, we're just going to put 14 snowballs in a decorated pot and then get a comparator output from it. Also, I think by putting the snowballs in here, we're going to get a lot of piston activations, so that'll be fun. There we go. And we're going to put 14 snowballs in each of these 4 pots. And that should be done. Our lag-effective, lossless, 100% efficient bamboo farm. But we need to put the bamboo in. Also, we need to put the backdrop on this with all the glass and terracotta behind it and stuff. So I will do that, and then we'll come back in. So what I've done is gone and named, I think, 15 or so lime shulker boxes with the bamboo name. They're all empty. We will be putting them in our shulker box loader, which we have recently constructed because the build is done for now. This is the start of the water park, so eventually there will be a water park area, but everything has to start somewhere, and we definitely need the wood for our storage room more than we need a water park. The walls of this place, I was inspired by water parks which I have been to, which have these giant concrete walls like next to where people can stand, and they're fairly like, you know, they're concrete and they're just painted over in paint. So this is where like a significant amount of the block variety actually went to, is these walls, because what I tried to do is make it so they were painted with a mural of waves, right? This kind of looks like a cresting wave, or at least that's what I tried to make it look like. I think I did pretty good. And then over on this side too, this is another like wave wall. It looks like a cresting wave. But Witchywood is a bad run-down theme park, right? Maybe one that hasn't had maintenance in a while. No one's really painted the walls in a little bit. So the paint on these concrete walls, I took every single block that I used to make these walls. I found a version of it that's like more run down. Like this white terracotta, for instance, gets replaced with dark gray terracotta. Same with that yellow concrete with the yellow terracotta. And I just pushed these different blocks down the wall as though like maybe like a bunch of dirty water fell down here a long time and messed up the paint, or maybe the paint is molding or peeling or something. So I did that on both sides to try to make like a cute mural in a water park that I've seen a lot, but then mess it up, you know, with these streaks of bad paint running down it, which I thought would be a fun way to enclose off the walls for this water park. Because back here, the machine we built is not, it's very visible is what it is, but because this is the outer edge of Witchywood itself, like this is the outer wall for Witchywood, we don't actually have to finish it. We can kind of just like pretend that this is a full big structure, you know, even though it's clearly not. But we'll never see back there, so we don't have to finish it up back there. Additionally, since the bamboo is getting put right here, what I've created here is a shulker box loader, and it's kind of meant to be like a little contraption maybe that powers this whole thing, like a generator maybe. I gave it like a smokestack and some smoke that's filtering out. You know, gotta love those carcinogens when you're at the local water park. This was, I think, the first shulker loader I ever made by myself. It is really bad redstone. Please do not copy this one. I'm not particularly proud of it, but I thought it would be cute to carry over, even though I've done more shulker box loaders in the past. This was actually the first shulker box loader design I came up with. Don't make fun of my shulker box loader, but I actually kind of like the look and feel of it, so I kept it. Which is why we have all these empty bamboo shulker boxes. We'll go back here. Okay, there. Now the bamboo boxes are getting put into this dispenser, and let's take one of them. So we've placed an empty shulker box in here. The bamboo will come down here, and we can fill these boxes with regular bamboo, or probably what we'll do is fill it with the like bamboo blocks, which are equivalent to logs pretty much, which will be like a compact way to store them. I don't think we need the regular bamboo as much. And then when we fill this box full of bamboo, it'll get replaced by a new box, and the old boxes will go back in here. So let's go ahead and turn this on for the first time. I haven't done this yet and made sure it works. I am very hopeful. Let's just do it. Whoa, that's fast. I forgot how fast it is. It's also loud. Significantly turn it down. There, the bamboo started to fall out of the pipe. How much is that so far? Plenty. It's plenty so far. Here in the background, you can kind of see how the redstone dust lag reduction thing I was talking about works. You can see how the dust is just barely blinking just a little bit each time, which significantly reduces the amount of lag that the redstone dust puts out, which is really cool. You can see even up here, the redstone dust is just flashing one interval. All of them are flashing just one interval at a time. I put a lot of bone blocks into this thing, like a lot of bone blocks into this thing. Here is a picture of it. That's all from the wither skeleton farm, actually. We'll probably just run that dry because we'll need a lot of wood for our storage system next episode. Okay, let's just stop running it for now. Let all the bamboo filter through. Oh, that's a lot. Okay, let's see how our shulker box loader works. Yep. And that's in here. Yep, okay. Out of all that bamboo, we got this many bamboo blocks. Let's craft that like directly into chests and just see how many chests that is, because what we really need for the wood for is chests. Okay, that's not bad. I wonder, okay, how much of the bone meal did we use up? We filled up, all we could fill up with those bone blocks was each dispenser full. Okay. We used up maybe 1/3 of the dispenser's bone meal to get 2 stacks of chests. That shouldn't be too bad. Okay, so I'm very happy with how this build turned out. We finally have a wood farm in our world. It only took 4 episodes, which doesn't sound like that many, but that's like 4 months, 5 months for a little wood farm. That's okay. I'm very happy with it. It feels really nice to use, and it has a lot of nice features. And it looks good, too. It's the start of the water park. That's so fun. And next episode, we will be back at base working on the core components for the big storage room. So I'm so excited for that. We'll finally have like the core technology in our world so that we can start working on even bigger projects. Finishing it up is going to enable us to do so much in this world. I'm very excited. This video was more difficult than usual to make, as I have been very busy for the last couple months. So if you'd like to see another video, the kindest thing you can do is subscribe to this YouTube channel below. I have a full-time job outside of this, so I'm very much relying on your support to create more of these Minecraft videos. Other things you could do include liking this video, commenting on it, or following me on other social media sites linked in the description. I'll also likely be streaming in this world before the next video releases, on my girlfriend's Twitch channel, DevilCat3D. Thanks so much for watching!